So working towards the financial inclusion and economic empowerment of women is first thing first by improving the financial education, because at the end of the day, knowledge is power. Once we're able to provide and include women when it comes to financial education, then ultimately they're more informed and they will be more and they will be better prepared to look forward and look into ways by which they can make themselves better, and ultimately this will lead to a better economic empowerment in that sense. And when I talk about financial education, it's not just on the onus on the women to do that. There has to be some policies in place to be able to enact this, and this includes having financial education curriculum starting from an early age. Once they are in school, secondary schools and university, this is really important. But for those that are out of this space, then we need to find ways to ensure that they have access to knowledge when it comes to financial education, as this helps them ultimately to be able to make better decisions, and making better decisions ultimately empowers them to become better at whatever they're looking for when it comes to economic empowerment as well. Improving gender equality can reduce the poverty, but then we have to look at equity first, because when we talk about equality, it means giving everybody the same access, but then there are people that do need more resources to reach another person in that instance. So when we talk about equity, we need to give equity first, because I might need more resources than someone else in that sense to then reach that, to be able to reach that equality aspect. So we need to give women more resources to help them, for example, women entrepreneurs, to be able to build their businesses, and also to be able to have follow-on capital in order to grow their businesses and be able to scale in that aspect. And aside from women entrepreneurs as well, we also have to look at leadership that we have in corporate settings. We look at how do we promote women into leadership positions, because once we promote women into leadership positions, they're able to save more, invest more, and ultimately this impacts not just only the generations coming, but also within their community as well. So when we talk about gender equality, it's really, really important in Africa. We also have to look at the equity first, because there is no equality without equity. The empowerment of women is really important, and it is rightly so in that sense, because when we empower women, not just only in Africa, but okay, my home country starts when we start with that, we actually empower generations to come. So for example, in my family, we have very strong lineage of empowered women, because we have learned right from the generation. So empowering women in its entirety leads to empowering generations to come. And not just only that, women are good at educating. So once we empower them in terms of education, and also in terms of financial education or any type of education at all, they ultimately pass those down onto their kids. And I feel this is very important for us in order to also alleviate poverty that is in most parts of Africa at the moment. So definitely there is no two way about it. It's really, really important to empower women. I decided to start PaceUP Invest basically to educate women and minoritized groups, so underrepresented communities, when it comes to their finances, to help them to learn, so financial education, and also help them to develop investment strategies, because it's really, really important. Not only is there the gender pay gap or the gender pension gap, but there's also the ethnic wealth gap as well, which it's quite obvious in the western part of the world. So this is what PaceUP is trying to address in that sense, so supporting them to become financially independent and build sustainable wealth.